Hi, everyone. This is Matthew Dawson here with Applied Digital Skills. We're just going to wait one more moment for everyone to join. Okay, it is time, so we will begin. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for attending this Hangout on Air. My name is Matthew Dawson. I am a program manager at Google. I am the curriculum lead for Applied Digital Skills, which is the program I will be discussing today. Before that, I was a 4th and 5th grade teacher. One second, I'll get my presentation up. And so a brief agenda for what we'll be talking about today. I'm going to start by giving a background on how we designed Applied Digital Skills. We will start the If Then Adventure Story project as a student, so you'll get a chance to go through the project as a student would. And then finally, we will add a class, and you will hopefully be prepared to teach Applied Digital Skills. Hopefully it's easy enough where you will, or if you were interested, you could begin teaching as soon as tomorrow. You'll notice that there is a chat window next to this video. So if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to add the question to that chat box. And either I will respond or my colleague, Megan Herman, who is also monitoring the chat box, will also reply. So I'll start with a background on how we designed Applied Digital Skills and how it works. So traditional digital skill design focuses a lot on features. So you might start with something like a spreadsheet, and you'd say, oh, students should learn how to format numbers or use a fill bucket or create a chart. And from this, you might create a skill chart like the one that I'm showing here. So all of these skills are really important skills and are also included in our curriculum. However, one of the challenges with that approach is that you can teach your students all those skills, and then eventually they're going to get into a job where their boss might say something like, we need to find the best vendor for our new product. Can you put together a spreadsheet that outlines all of our options? And in this situation, your student's not really prepared to do these things. You taught them a bunch of skills, but in this situation, the student needs to be able to research information, create a spreadsheet to solve a problem, identify important information, analyze data, identify a solution, and communicate results. And so this is where Applied Digital Skills really focuses our curriculum strategy. So rather than teaching just the features of a tool, we try to situate those skills in a meaningful and engaging context. So what I have on the screen here is an example from our plan and budget unit. And in this activity, students research cell phone options. So we created a meaningful context for students to practice all of those same skills. So they learn how to use the fill tool. They learn how to format numbers. They learn how to use formulas. They learn all of the important digital skills, but they learn it in a context that's going to be meaningful for them in a future career. And so the belief of Applied Digital Skills is that digital skills taught in a meaningful, engaging context will prepare students to be successful in any career or field. And so this is where our website comes in. It's g.co/applied digital skills. And Applied Digital Skills, if you're not already familiar, is a free curriculum. It's designed for a self-paced and blended learning environment where learners practice life skills while building projects using Google's suite of apps. And so blended learning, our model focuses on using video content to engage learners. And in this model, the teacher is able to facilitate and support individual students while they're working. And because it's blended, students are able to work at their own pace. So all of your students aren't at the exact same spot in a project. Students can really focus on the parts that are most interesting to them. And because you're facilitating, you can help out students where they might need the most support. Excuse me. The Applied Digital Skills curriculum is a full semester curriculum, and the units can go in any order. So we have about 90 hours of instructional content right now for high school and middle school. In addition to all the video content, we provide lesson plans, rubrics, student progress tracking. We understand that it can be really hard to pick up a new curriculum and begin teaching it. So we've done everything we can to hopefully make that an easy experience for teachers. So as I mentioned before, the units can be used in any order, but they can also be used to teach a wide variety of subjects. So something like that, unit that I showed before with students researching cell phone plans, you could research many different types of things and include that information in a spreadsheet. So you could incorporate this into a language, math, government, history, IT class, and more. So now that you have a general idea of how to use the curriculum, we are going to try it out. Now, we've never done this before in a YouTube live demo, so we're going to give it a go and see how this works. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to show you some final example student projects. And so we're going to do something out of our If-Then Adventure curriculum. It is 2 activities. In the first activity, students brainstorm ideas. And in the second activity, students use those ideas to create an interactive story. So I'll show the ice cream virus. And so this is a real student project that one of our students created. And so I'll go through. And again, this is a 2-activity sequence. The first one is the students brainstorm narrative elements. And the second activity, they create the interactive story. So this is the ice cream virus. So you walk into an ice cream shop. You have the choice between 3 flavors: strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. Does anybody want to type a response into the chat window and we'll follow that storyline? And if not, I'm just going to pick chocolate. All right, looks like chocolate's going to be the winner. So chocolate is the story selection. Oh no, you shouldn't have picked that chocolate ice cream. You've gotten the flu. The symptoms show within weeks. You see the doctor and you have 2 choices of antibodies: decongestants or antihistamines. And I will select decongestants. You take decongestants, they clear up your runny nose, but you've used too much. Now you're in a state known as rebound congestion. You can't breathe. How do you fix this? Withdrawal of nasal congestion or saline nasal spray? I'm going to select saline nasal spray. Yay! You've lost the rebound congestion and you're no longer congested. Congratulations. So this is just one example of a project that students created. We have many, many more, and they are all similarly interesting as that one. Okay, so to start this activity, I'm going to go to g.co/applied digital skills, which is our website where all of this curriculum is hosted. For this portion, you can either go to the website with me or you can just follow along and watch as I go. Actually, I'll start a new one. So g.co/applied digital skills, as I mentioned, is the website. And from the website, your students will initially sign in, but I'm just going to go right to the curriculum. And from our curriculum page, you can see all of the units that we offer, which is quite a few. You can also filter by audience. So we have curriculum for middle and high school, but we also have curriculum for college and continuing education. And so the unit we are going to start today is called If-Then Adventure Stories. And so from the curriculum page, you can see a list of all of the videos in this unit. You can also click a link to lesson plans, which are in a Google Docs format. And so Google Docs will enable you to save a copy if you would like. But the lesson plans give you pretty much everything you need to be able to teach the content on your own. And so, in addition to giving you all the information you might need about a project, it also gives you some helpful screenshots to help you understand, like, oh, in this first project, students are going to have to name a document. They're going to have to brainstorm 10 ideas. They're going to have to write a summary. They're going to have to bold story selections and share the document. So there's a lot of helpful information in here that, again, we designed to hopefully make this as easy to teach as possible. In addition to lesson plans, we also have rubrics, and rubrics are set up in a Google Sheets format. And so if at the end of this unit, you want to assess student work, you can make a copy of this rubric and assess student work in the way that's most appropriate for you and your students. So we are going to start, I'm going to skip the overview of Google Apps in the pre-survey, but if you were taking this, you'd likely want your students to start there. And we're going to start with brainstorming story ideas. So there are a few things to notice here. There are instructions on the right side, which can help as a teacher if you want to skim through and see what all the videos are about. As a teacher, one of the most valuable features for me is to be able to see a transcript of everything that happens in the video. And with a transcript, this might prevent me from having to watch the video myself as a teacher. So if I just want to get a sense of what students are doing in each video, it might help for me to just open up the transcript, scroll through, and if, for example, I see something that I don't know how to do, I can click on it, and that'll jump to that spot in the video so I can catch up on how to do that skill. So I'm going to play this video, and if you cannot hear or there's any challenges with the video, just let us know in the chat window, and then we're going to try doing this project all together.
Activity, your group will collaborate to select the setting, characters, and problems for your story. Digital collaboration uses technology to share information, brainstorm ideas, and help groups make decisions. It allows people all over the world to work together in real time. You can collaborate in a document by writing with someone else, adding comments, or suggesting edits. In this activity, you and your group members will brainstorm story elements in a shared document from your own computers. Then you'll add comments to discuss and select which elements you'll include in your story. To start, select one member of your group to create a copy of the starter document and share it with the entire group. This allows everyone in your group to work in the same document. If you are that person, click the starter project linked on this page. Then make a copy. Only one member of your group will make a copy of this document. Rename the document Story Brainstorm. Share it and enter the email address of each group member. Once the document has been shared, open it from your own computer. To open a shared document, go to google.com and select Google Drive. View your shared files and double-click the file to open it. Then return to Google Drive and move the file to My Drive. While the file is still selected, click Add to My Drive. Return to the document. At the top, you should see each person in your group. Once everyone in your group has opened the shared file, move on to the next video to begin brainstorming story elements. Now it's your turn. Select one person in your group to open the starter project and make a copy. Name it Story Brainstorm and share it with your group. Once the file is shared, open it at your own computer and add the file to your drive. Once all your group members have opened the document, move on to the next video.
Okay, so for this project, I have already opened and created a starter project for us to work in. But if your students were to work on this project, they'd find the starter project link here. They'd click it and click Make a Copy and share it with the other students in their group. But as I mentioned, I did this for us already. And it looks like we only have 12 or so people on the call. So I think maybe we can handle this all in one project. So if you wouldn't mind Could everyone on the call please go to this link here, goo.gl, and then capital LA, and it needs to be capitalized, 5Q, capital C, and 1. And I will paste this into the chat window to hopefully help everybody get there. And while everyone is getting there, I should note for Kim, the benefit of signing in is students will be redirected to where they left off. So in your class, like let's say students left at the third video of the activity. The next day when they sign in, they're going to go right back to that third activity. The third video in that activity. It'll also enable you as a teacher to track student progress. So on your dashboard, you'll be able to see exactly where all of the students in your class are in the sequence, in addition to getting access to a survey and assessment results if you so choose. So there are a lot of benefits for students signing in. The reason we didn't do it is because in just a moment, we're going to have you create a teacher account. Okay, so I'm going to get into the document as well. So again, if you weren't able to type that URL, I do see that a lot of people are in our document. If you weren't able to type in that URL, I did add it to the chat window, so you can still get there with us. So everybody is in the document now. This was the last step in that first video. So I'm gonna go down to go to the next video, and I will play the next video. So please follow along. And then after the video is over, we'll begin adding our own ideas to the document.
Every story has 3 elements: setting, characters, and plot. Each group member will brainstorm different ideas for your story. By the end of this activity, your group should have at least 10 of each possible: settings, characters, and problems. To start brainstorming, first think about the setting for your story. It might be something you know, such as your house, the park, or your school. Or it might be imagined, like the moon, a different planet, or an alternate universe. Be as serious or as wild as you want. Add your ideas to the settings column of your brainstorming document. Next, brainstorm some characters. Perhaps the reader will have an adventure as a deep sea explorer or an archaeologist. Or maybe they're an athlete or an astronaut. The possibilities are endless. You could even choose non-human characters such as a dog or a toaster. Include the characters the reader will encounter along the way, like a friend, an ogre, or a flock of birds. Add your ideas to the characters column. Finally, think about the problems the main character might encounter in these settings. Perhaps the astronaut finds out there's a meteor hurtling towards the planet. Or maybe the deep sea explorer sees a monster and their oxygen tank is almost empty. Record your own ideas for potential problems in the problems column. Separate each idea using bullet points. To create a new bullet point, press enter or return just like you would for a new line. You can create a new bulleted list using the toolbar. When you think of an idea, type it in the document. Later, you'll select ideas from each column to use in your story. For now, though, focus on generating lots of ideas. Check out what this might look like. Nia brainstorms the rainforest as a setting. When Antonio sees that, he adds adventure with wild animals under problems. Molly sees adventure and adds tour guide and vacationer to characters. Even though you might build on each other's ideas, you should still contribute some of your own. Be respectful of others and be careful not to delete what others have added. Keep adding ideas until your group has at least 10 for each story element. Then move on to the next video to select the elements your group will use for your story. Now it's your turn. Add your own ideas to the documents. Your group should have at least 10 settings, 10 characters, and 10 problems before moving on.
Okay, awesome. So we, excuse me. So this video instructs us to add our own ideas to the document, and our group won't move on until we have 10 settings, 10 characters, and 10 problems. So please go into the document now. And again, we've never done this before on a YouTube live chat, so I hope it works. But everybody, please add some of your own ideas to our brainstorming document. So settings, characters, and problems for the interactive story that we would be telling in the second activity. Okay, it looks like we are almost at 10, so we're just going to take one more minute to get any final ideas that you might have into the interactive story document. Okay, awesome. Thank you all so much for participating in that portion. I will mention that as a teacher, one of my favorite components of Google Docs is the ability to see who added what to a document. So if after making this project, you want to see which students in your group added which components, you can go to File and then view the version history. When you see the version history, in this case, everybody's an anonymous user. But if we were all signed into like a shared document that we weren't anonymous in, we could see the individual updates that each person made. So just a cool little tip if when you're looking at student projects, you want to see who actually added which things. So I'm going to go back to our project. We have, I'm sorry, the videos. We have 10 settings, 10 characters, and 10 problems. So I am going to move on to the next video and begin playing it.
In this video, your group will select a main character, setting, and problems from your brainstorm list. Then in the next activity, you'll write a summary of the story you'll create. To start, read the items in your list and add comments about ideas that you would like to use in your story. To add a comment, highlight the text that you like to comment on and click the comment button. Describe specifically what you like about an idea. If someone else in your group has commented on an idea that you like, you can reply to their comment to support it or add additional ideas. Once everyone in your group has read through the list and identified ideas they like using comments, gather your group around one computer to select the setting, characters, and problems for your story. As a group, choose at least one item from each list. There should only be one main character for your story, but they may encounter other characters along the way. Once your group has decided, identify the elements in your brainstorming document. Do this by making the choices bold, commenting on them, changing the font, or changing the color. Next, collaborate to write a summary of the story you plan to write. Underneath the word summary, describe the who, what, when, where, and how of your story. Think of this description like the blurb on the back of a book. Move on once your group has selected your story elements and written a summary. In the next activity, you'll turn these into an interactive story. Now, it's your turn. Read through your group's brainstorm document and add comments on ideas that you like most. Gather with your group around one computer and choose story elements. Indicate your group's choices on the document and write a brief summary.
Okay, now this is the part that I think might be the most challenging for us to do over the YouTube live stream. So we need to comment on some ideas and as a group, hopefully select some elements to include in a future story. So if you would please return to the document. If you personally like an idea, highlight it, comment on it, and let's see if we can collectively come to a decision. I see that somebody made Alien Planet larger. I added a comment asking if everyone else liked that idea, so maybe that's a way that we could go, is with the Alien Planet as a setting. Well, it looks like we had a few. Well, we got a +1 on everyone liking Alien Planet. Oh, we got another one. And so it might be that we have a story with An alien planet, a green Martian looks popular. Someone bolded, aliens intend to destroy Earth. And so this type of collaboration can be pretty difficult over a YouTube live stream, but it looks like we're doing pretty good with it. In a classroom, you can imagine that this might be pretty engaging and fun for students to be able to actually all type their ideas into a document and then collectively come to a decision about what they might be able to do. So for now, we'll skip this summary part because I don't know how we could possibly all write a summary together. But if we were to continue working on this project, we would make a story set on an alien planet with a green Martian and aliens that intended to destroy Earth. So we'll move on, but we did skip that brief summary. So if your students were working on this, you'd likely want them to write a brief summary there. And so that brings us to the end of this first activity where we brainstorm the story elements. So I'm going to play the wrap-up video, and the wrap-up video is designed to just summarize a lot of the ideas that students were engaging with during the activity.
In this activity, you collaborated with your group to brainstorm story elements. In every career, it's important to be able to work effectively as part of a team, whether it's through team meetings, email, or providing feedback to documents. Just about every job requires some form of collaboration. For example, employees at the A6 shoe company collaborate using the same tools you use in this activity. People from all over the company, including designers, marketers, and data scientists, work together to develop new products in smarter, more efficient ways. In the next activity, you'll continue to collaborate with your group to turn the narrative elements you selected in this activity into an interactive story. Click the next arrow to move on.
So that takes us to the end of that first activity. In most classes, this activity can take between about 40 minutes to an hour. And I mean, possibly even extend beyond that. So for most classes, this fits within about one class period. But keep in mind that this is a self-paced curriculum. So you might have different groups of students in your class at different points. In this example, I was playing the videos on my computer, but in your classroom, students would likely be watching these videos on their own computers and moving through the curriculum at their own pace. So we are going to stop with our activity there, and I'm going to demonstrate how you can add your own class on the Applied Digital Skills platform. And so by adding a class, you're going to enable students to sign in and join your class, which will give you access to student progress tracking, student response data. So for example, at the end of that wrap-up video that we just saw, there's a short survey below where you can get a sense of what students thought of the activity, what they thought was interesting, and what was most difficult. And at the end of the unit, there's a short skill assessment as well, which you can use to understand how well your students are able to complete the skills they learned in that activity. So there's a lot of benefits to signing in and creating a class. And so to do that, you can sign in at g.co/applied-digital-skills. And so you will need a Google account to sign in, and your students will also need Google accounts to sign in. So if you don't already have a Google account, you can create one for free at accounts.google.com/sign-up. So after you do that, you'll need to select your role as an instructor. And so if you've already created an account on our website and answered this question, you won't get asked it again. You'll set up a profile, which includes answering a question about your email settings, providing your name and where you teach. So after you've done this, you'll land on your dashboard. And at the bottom right, there'll be a button to add classes to your dashboard. And once you've added a class to your dashboard, you'll be provided with a class code. So in this example, that class code is SIP22. So when your students sign into the website, they'll type that in the first time they sign in. And then each time after that, when they sign in, they'll be redirected to the last video where they left off. And so here are some of the features that our website has to support you as you're teaching. So one of those things is student progress tracking. And so this will allow you to see where your students are in the curriculum and which videos and activities they have completed. You'll have access to our lesson plans, which again, you can access from that curriculum page. You'll have access to rubrics. And again, one of the biggest benefits of the rubrics is just making a copy of it and editing it so it's appropriate for you, your class, and your learning objectives. And actually, I'm sorry, I think I do have a section on how students sign in. Great, so when students sign in, it is a similar experience. So your students will go to g.co/applied digital skills. They will select that they are a learner, and they'll select that they're taking this course with an instructor because you're their teacher. And then they'll enter that class code under the I am a learner box, and they'll click get started. And right now, for all of the classes on our website, when they click get started, they'll be redirected to that first page of the If Then Adventure story. So if you're doing the If Then Adventure story, they can begin working as soon as they've entered that class code. So that takes me to the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at applieddigitalskills@google.com, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. I'll also hang out for another minute in the chat window. So if you have any additional questions, you can ask it in the chat window. And I'd like to thank all of you so much for attending this YouTube live stream today. We're going to do another one tomorrow. And the one tomorrow, I believe, is at 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. And so that information is also in the original email. So if you'd like to attend another one, we're going to go through the exact same thing again. But again, if you'd like to just reinforce the information. So please stick around, ask any questions. You can always email us at that applieddigitalskills@google.com as well. So thank you all so much.